You know that feeling. You're about to walk into an interview, or sit down across from someone important, or speak up in a meeting. Your heart rate goes up. Your mind starts racing. You suddenly care a lot about saying the right thing. That's what nervousness feels like. And here's the important part. You're not nervous because you're weak. You're nervous because you want something. A job, approval, a good impression, a yes. The moment you need an outcome from someone, pressure shows up. Think about it. When you really want something from a person, you start monitoring yourself. You choose words carefully. You hold back opinions. You try to sound impressive. You're no longer present, you're performing. Now compare that to a situation where you don't really care about the outcome. You speak naturally. You don't overthink pauses. You don't feel tense. Same you, different mindset. So the problem is not nervousness itself. The problem is attachment. Let's make this very practical. Take a job interview. If you walk in thinking, I really need this job, your entire body reacts to that pressure. You rush answers. You over-explain. You try to impress instead of understand. Now, imagine walking in thinking, let me understand their problem and see if I can help. You still want the job, but now you're focused on the conversation, not on yourself. That single shift changes everything. Same interview, same stakes, but suddenly you sound calmer, clearer, and more confident. The same thing happens in dating. When you want someone to like you badly, you act differently. You agree too much. You hide parts of yourself. You overthink what to say next. And people feel that. Now think about a time when you didn't care much about the outcome. You were relaxed. You joked naturally. You spoke freely. That's not confidence. That's low neediness. Nervousness increases when your self-worth is tied to how one interaction goes. So here's the rule that actually works. Never enter a situation trying to get approval. Enter it knowing what you're there to contribute. This doesn't mean you stop wanting results. It means you stop depending on them emotionally. Before any situation that makes you nervous, ask yourself, what am I here to give? If it's an interview, clarity, skills, problem solving. If it's a conversation, honesty, attention, presence. If it's a meeting, useful input, decisions, direction. When you define your role like this, the pressure drops because now you have a task, not a performance. Most nervousness comes from watching yourself too closely. The moment your focus shifts outward, your body calms down naturally. And one last thing people get wrong. The calmest people are not fearless. They just understand that one moment doesn't define their life. One interview doesn't define your career. One conversation doesn't define your value. One mistake doesn't ruin everything.